What's up, everybody? Welcome to Decent Convo Radio, aka DCR. On this podcast, we keep things fun, casual, and informative. I'm Jay, aka Decent JVA, and your host of this broadcast. So grab a snack, take a seat, and we'll have ourselves a decent convo. What's up, everyone? I'm here today with
Dallas Spiker Ramirez.
And today, we're here on DCR, and we're going to talk about our first topic: binge watching ruins the anticipation. What's your thoughts on that, Dallas?
I really do believe that binge watching kind of ruins the appreciation for whatever show or movie that is coming out. Because the example I always use is that if we had Avengers Infinity War come out 6 months, if we had Avengers Infinity War come out and then 6 months later we had Endgame, Endgame would not have the gravity it had and the hold on us that it did when we had to wait a full year for the continuation of that storyline. Because being able to wait for a TV show, a season, movie, that allows the audience to get connected with the characters, to make theories, to make fan art, join with other people who are also in the fandom and say, hey, this is my headcanon, what's yours? Because having that break, I think, is so important to really getting into a show. So when you binge watch something, you are stripping yourself away from that experience. I have a 10-year-old little sister, and I love showing her the shows that I watched. Right now, I'm trying to get her to watch Gravity Falls.
Good show.
She will absolutely wait between seasons 1 and 2 and 2 and 3 because I had to wait. And it does add to the experience. I'm not going to let her just blow through that entire series because it is a really good show on its own. But having to wait, that awful feeling of like, oh my God, what's going to happen next? It is so important, I think.
I can agree with that. I think at some points it is a good thing to have, especially for a lot of older shows. Like, for example, if you wanted to binge Adventure Time.
Oh my gosh. Yes.
Yeah, because it has, well, for one, because it has so much lore right after a bunch of like slapstick.
Of course.
I definitely think binge watching is a good hit for that, only because you get to see all the fun stuff, and then you get to the lore, and then you're just kind of blowing. You're blowing through it, but it's also you're getting all that in like fresh in your mind, and because a lot of times people will stop. People will stop because they have other things to do. They have important things they got to do in their life, and then when they come back, just like, all right, I'm back. Where we got to see where we're at, and then you get to the 3 episodes, stop. Get to the 3 episodes, stop. But I can agree that binge watching ruins it for certain shows, especially if it's a newer show and they release it a certain way. And an example that I actually came up with a few weeks ago, my friend Kai watches a lot of JoJo. Have you ever heard of that anime? JoJo's
I have not seen it yet, but I've heard great things.
Yeah, it is pretty good. So I've been watching it at his request, and he was telling me that the thing is with part 6, because it was released by Netflix instead of like Crunchyroll or like most of the other major animators. It was, since it was released by Netflix, it was basically pumped out like group by group of episodes instead of an episode, then a week later another episode, then a week later another episode. It was just like, I don't know, like 5 or so episodes at once. So just boom, 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 and then you're watching all that, and it's like, yeah, it's kind of ruining it now because not a lot of time to soak in those episodes. Mm-hmm. Especially when, and this is something he specifically told me, especially when if you watched 4 of the 5 episodes, but your friend has watched all 5, now you're an episode behind, you can't talk about it because you might get spoiled by something.
That's so true.
So I definitely think binge watching can help some shows and hurt some others.
It's very true. And you brought up a really good example, which is Adventure Time. I grew up with Adventure Time, but my parents have actually seen more Adventure Time than I have because every year I go away to college. that is what they binge watch. And there's so many episodes to get through. That and regular show, so many episodes. So sometimes if you really truly want to finish a show, you have no choice but to binge watch because people have jobs. They have maybe people to provide for and take care of. They have an education, like we are college students. We have other more important things going on. So sometimes it leaves you no choice but to binge watch, but you're absolutely right. You need to be able to soak in an experience.
Yeah. As for that, we can move on to our next topic. Nimona is one of the best movies I've ever seen. Quote by you, by the way.
Is that actually what I mean, yeah, it's true. It's been... Have you seen Nimona on
I have
Netflix?
seen Nimona. Also, spoiler warning for anyone who has not seen Nimona on Netflix.
Go watch it. It's really good.
I will put a timestamp. If you don't want to be spoiled, please skip to said timestamp. Continue.
Nimona is a fantastic film. The animation alone is incredible. There's one scene where Nimona is running and in the background you can just see beautifully how they constructed this world, because you know when you're driving on the highway, the faraway mountains are moving slower than the road that's right next to you.
Yeah.
They beautifully bring those concepts to life, and they do it with a lot of humor too. Everything is really funny in the show, but they also carry very serious notions, and it's just a really good film. I watched it alone by myself and then called my roommates and myself and teammates, and I said, guess what we're watching? You don't get a choice, because it's a really good film. And I sat them all down and they loved it. They got really into the characters. They had a lot of fun theorizing what was going to happen next, what Nimona's backstory was, and they were laughing at the really subtle humor of it. And I really appreciate it because it's a whole narrative about be who you are, accept people.
Right.
And a lot of films do that already. If we look at the Emoji Movie, for an example, that had that same theme, but it was a different execution. An execution that worked flawlessly. I really appreciate that. And the voice actor for Ballister, for example, he actually said he was originally going to do a different voice other than his own. But then he realized in this film, where the main theme is being yourself and being authentic, he wanted to do his own accent. So he did something more true to his natural voice.
Yeah, it's pretty good. I definitely enjoyed Nimona myself. It was very, very good movie, very funny movie, but also very heavy movie.
Yes.
Very heavy movie. But I will say, because I don't tend to focus on the more serious notions till after the fact. So during the movie, I was definitely more focused on Nimona's shenanigans.
Oh, I love her. Her shenanigans are quite possibly the best part of the film. Her shenanigans are what bring us in. It's what was featured in the trailer. Her just having a great time, using the abilities that she has, and doing whatever she wanted with it. And yeah.
For our third topic, and this is also another quote by you, Rise of the Turtles is a great show, but not a good turtle show.
I do believe this. And Rise of the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the 2018 edition, is one of my favorite shows. But a lot of people have a problem with it. And the main reason is because it is so drastically different than the previous TMNT series.
I've heard similar things, yeah.
Yeah, so even if we, a really big fan favorite is 2012.
Mm-hmm.
If we look at the story and the characters, it's so incredibly different. Even the way the turtles act is so incredibly different. Leo, from 2012 to 2018, goes from this kind, warm, genuinely cares about people leader who is very much a lawful good. He does not steal. He's a good person. He doesn't like lying. He does the right thing.
Right.
2018 is like a literal thief. There are YouTube videos that count how many crimes he's committed, identity theft, the craziest stuff. And even one of the biggest issues is the way that they use Shredder. So in the 2018 edition, Shredder is basically a demon, and not an actual person. So in the 2012 version, we have Master Splinter, whose real name is
Hamato Yoshi.
Hamato Yoshi, thank you. His real name is Hamato Yoshi. And that remains true in the 2018 series as well. He is still Hamato Yoshi. But instead of being this, I don't know, he's a really tall dude. Let's say he's 6 feet tall. Instead of being this 6 foot tall, very respectable, a good father teaching the boys wise lessons that they need to learn and mature into adulthood, instead of being that respectable figure, he turns in to a 3 foot tall, fat, little gray rat man who is quite, to put it frankly, he's a terrible father. He was not really there for the boys. He often ignores them. The 2018 version, his kids get so excited just to get an ounce of validation from him, just a hug. And that is often proven when the 2018 Donatello is always saying, oh, the validation of a parental figure I've so craved, because that was something that his dad never gave him. And in the 2018 version, Splinter doesn't even call them by their names. He calls them by the colors. So he calls Donatello purple. He calls Leo blue. He calls Michael orange.
Yeah, see, I never watched Rise, so I didn't even know that.
It's so incredibly different. And they changed Karai's backstory as well. And the Foot Clan, they're no longer actual ninjas. They turn into paper ninjas. Because instead
Paper
of...
ninjas?
Yeah. So, you know how in 2012, it started off being... Throughout the whole entire series of 2012, they start off being human foot ninjas,
right,
and then they turn into, like, robots.
Yeah.
Because it's easier to dismember them with ninja weapons without it being incredibly graphic. And so that's kind of what 2018 did. Because in the first few episodes of 2018, when the Foot Clan are first introduced, it's really just two dudes. There's a foot lieutenant and a foot soldier, and that's literally their names. And they fold little origami dudes and then throw them across the room, and suddenly they turn into a ninja that then the boys have to fight and shred to pieces. And it's that kind of difference that is why people hate it as a TMNT show, because people were looking for people were kind of hoping for an extension of 2012, and that is not at all what they got. They got something brand new. But I will still sing 2018's praises, because it's a really good show. It's really funny. The animation is stunning, but you have to look at it from the lens of this is a new show. It's not a TMNT show.
Right.
2018 was what got me into TMNT. That was the rabbit hole that led me down into being like, okay, now I'll watch 2012. Okay, let's start some 2003. Let's look at some 1987. That was the rabbit hole. And so for so many people... It just made
you work backwards.
It did. But any rabbit hole is a good rabbit hole, truthfully. And as long as you get in it and it's something that brings you in and you relate to and you really enjoy. But for a lot of people, that was not what they started with. And so when they come in with that mindset, they are going to be disappointed. And a lot of people are disappointed. So circling all back to my main point, it's a great show. I think it's so funny. I rewatch it all the time. It's my comfort show. It's not a good TMNT show because it's so drastically different. It's like if Star Wars no longer had lightsabers, because in the 2018 version, they're actually like god awful at using their weapons, and they have mystic powers.
Yeah, so, see, I heard a lot about that point. Especially from like channels that I watch. I have like a lot of stuff about comics or shows.
Michael doesn't actually use nunchucks. He has a different weapon. And Raphael, he doesn't use the sai. He uses tonfas. So
yeah, it's very different.
Exactly. Great show, not a good TMNT show.
Speaking of shows, you mentioned OKKO to me.
Yes, I did.
What are your thoughts on that?
I really like OKKO. I started watching it purely because my sister and I had run out of things to watch. And I remember my younger years when I would watch Cartoon Network, I would see commercials for that show and I never got into it. So now that I have a streaming service, I said, hey, why not? Let's give this a try. And I was really pleasantly surprised to find that, you know, when you can tell people really enjoy their job, you can tell that people genuinely enjoy working on the show. The animation, there are clips of literally the main character just floating along because the animators said, let's have fun with it. The voice actors are having a ball constantly. And it's really good voice acting, and they do a really good job with the narrative that they have. It's really silly. Don't get me wrong, it's really silly, but it has a really nice blend of being silly but also pushing forward a plot in the same way Gravity Falls might. It's got some shenanigans throughout the entire thing, but it's often focusing about addressing certain things with kids. It's very progressive. It features same-sex couples. It shows families that are non-traditional. We have single fathers. We have adults who are in love, because oftentimes the focus of love are the younger characters and the maybe 20-year-olds. But here we have people who never had to be, single mothers, and people who turned from bad to good, people who went from good to bad. And I really enjoyed the humor. And my little sister loved this show. When the show was cut short, so I believe it was only 2 seasons, and during the season finale, the series finale, she cried. And that was the first time she had ever cried about a show ending. And I was like, yes, you're learning, one of us.
You finally got her emotions out?
Yes, and because I think it's so important when people get attached to shows, because I love people being passionate about something. And so when she was crying, I was like, I'm here for you and I'm going to comfort you, but I'm also like really proud of you right now because you got so into this. And she really enjoyed it. So I know I keep talking about animation and humor, but I think that's so important for a good cartoon. And it highlights the importance of platonic love and sibling love just as much as romantic love. And it goes into little nuances like that. It does have an episode that kind of ventures into politics a little bit with metaphors. And they also have an episode talking about health and how much sleep you need to get, how much food you need to eat, or what kind of food to eat, how much exercise you need. So there is still a weirdly educational factor, but it does dive into maybe some metaphorical topics that could be translated to politics so that parents can see that and recognize, okay, I see what they're doing. But yeah, I really like that show. I think it's good.
All right. Now, if you don't mind, I'd like to find out just how much you like that show.
Oh, God.
You see, Dallas was previously aware that I would be quizzing her on some of the shows that I mentioned. What is KO's real name?
Oh my God, I don't know. Isn't it just KO?
That's his first name. What's his last name?
Oh, I'm trying to think. I know his mom's name is Carol. And her superhero name was Silver Sparks.
It's not Sparks, I'll tell you right now.
Was it Silver Sparks? I think so. I have no idea. Is it KO? It's not KO Venomous, is it? That was the last name of his father. Okay. Is it Laser Blast? It's not Gar, is it? I'm listing other characters that were acting as parental figures for KO. For anyone that doesn't know. I have no idea. I can't.
KO Kincaid.
I do not remember that. It's been a minute since I've seen that show. But oh my goodness, I can't believe I forgot he had a full name, if I'm going to be so honest.
Now, mind you, this is on Amino, so I cannot verify the validity of these answers. According to Amino, all those answers were wrong. But I will verify real quick by Googling it.
I had no idea.
KO Kincaid. Yep.
KO Kincaid. I do not remember
also
that.
KO in his full name is spelled Kaio.
need to go see what episode that was in because I do not remember that. But no, I trust you.
Question number 2.
Alright, hopefully this will go better.
What is Chip Damage?
Chip Damage he's actually a cyborg. He was introduced in the show as a superhuman, but it later is, spoilers. It is later revealed that he is actually a robot/cyborg, and I think that's what it is. And he is responsible for, well, not responsible, but he's the one that gives the kids at the prep school all their enhanced boosts that they weren't supposed to get. I told my friends, they're like, where are you going? Because they always think I'm going to see somebody. And I'm like, I wish I had somebody to see. But I walked out the house and they were like, where are you going? I'm like, to talk about turtles. And they were like, oh, fucking course you are.
Talk about turtles.
They're so sick of me. Like, my roommates, they, like, if someone asks, like, oh, you got that turtle smug for your birthday? What's that about? My roommate will be like, don't get her started.
Don't get her started.
Don't do it.
All right, you ready?
Yes.
Question number 3. Who is KO's real dad?
So there's a little bit of a timeline here. So it was originally Laser Blast. That was what he went by at first, but then it is revealed, again, spoilers, later in the series that Laser Blast had that kind of dissension going from good to bad and now is Professor Venomous, who then, again, later turns out to be shadowy figure as well.
Okay. So technically the correct answer was Laser Blast because Professor Venomous was not an option. So I will take Laser Blast.
You didn't trust me on that one.
No, I'll trust you.
It's all the same person. It's just they're different, their alter egos,
I'll definitely trust you on that one.
It was Laser Blast.
Question number 4. Who is Enid's girlfriend?
Oh, no. It's something red. Please, tell me. It's something red.
Red Girl Action?
Red Girl Action, yes. She's a time traveler. She's really cool. She's a really cool person.
Question number 5. What is KO's alter ego?
TKO. It is basically a manifestation of his anger and hatred.
And what do they fuse into?
Okay, so it's KO, TKO, and then I know that they fuse because eventually they work together. Is it like Ultimate TKO?
You're close.
What is it?
It is Perfect KO.
Dang it! I should have known that.
Which is funny because of the naming conventions.
Yep.
So KO, and then TKO, technical knockout, and Perfect KO, which is mainly a fighting game term.
Yep. I knew it was within that kind of straight line. I just couldn't remember what it was.
Speaking of OKKO though, let's get into talking about one of their guest characters, Sonic the Hedgehog.
Oh yes. That Sonic the Hedgehog episode where in OKKO, that was, I believe the voice actor for Sonic was Roger Craig Smith.
Mm-hmm.
Roger Craig Smith is frankly my favorite Sonic the Hedgehog voice actor. I was really disappointed that he was not in the live action Sonic films, but I understand why, because Roger Craig Smith's voice is too mature and too adult for the Sonic that was in the live action. Because take 2007 Sonic Boom, for example, that Sonic is much more adult, but the Sonic in
I'm assuming you made 17.
Huh?
I'm assuming you made 2017. You said 7.
No, it was 2007.
Sonic Boom?
Sonic Boom was in 2007. Please Google it. If I'm wrong, I would like to know. I'm pretty sure it was 2007.
As in the show, right?
Yes.
No. Well, it's 2014, so I was also wrong.
Wait. Sonic Boom? No way! I'm horrified.
We're not that old.
I'm
Dallas.
Okay, well,
2007, I was 3.
Hey, listen, man. I'm horrified because I really thought that for like a while. Okay, so let's go with 2014 Sonic Boom. That one was a much more mature version because the Sonic that we see in the live action films is much more of like a 12, 13-year-old kid. And he's physically looking much more like a 12, 13-year-old kid. So Roger Craig Smith's voice was way too mature. I believe the new voice actor is Ben
Schwartz.
Ben Schwartz. Yes, that's correct. So the new voice actor is Ben Schwartz, who's a little higher in pitch, a little more youthful, I would say. Yeah.
Especially after Roger Craig Smith's role in Sonic Frontiers, if you ever heard about that.
No.
Sonic Frontiers is the newest Sonic game. It's kind of like Breath of the Wild, more of an open world Sonic game. And he in that game he was directed to sound like to do the Sonic voice, but make it sound a little deeper.
Gotcha. Roger Craig Smith can do anything.
Like there's actually a video where he kind of describes how they directed him, where like he doesn't the regular Sonic was like it's over egghead, and then he keep going, tell him to keep like little lower, it's over egghead, little lower, it's over egghead, little lower, it's over egghead, right there.
His voice is that deep?
Kinda, yeah. It sounds good though once you actually play the game.
Okay, I'll have to look into that.
It sounds pretty good.
Yeah.
On that note though, you told me that you got very into Sonic lore.
Oh my gosh, yes. I got really into Sonic. Me and we did a lot of studying up. Now, full disclosure, I haven't actually played a single Sonic game. I did the thing where you watch other people play, so that way, I'm not a gamer, so I wouldn't get very far if I actually tried to play the game. That would take me too long. So I watch other people play it through, so that way I still get the concepts, the lore. I still know what the voice acting is like. I still get to see the characters interact with each other. So that was where my wealth of knowledge came from. And I went to YouTube University, where I watched other people analyze the games, the storyline, everything like that. So that was how I learned about it. And then also watching the Sonic Boom, the new series on Netflix, those 3 seasons, I really enjoyed that. And I'm really excited for the live action Sonic 3 in December. I am
also very excited for that.
Yeah.
How do you feel about Keanu Reeves playing Shadow?
I was really hesitant, if I'm going to be honest. When I heard that, I was like, okay. I thought it was just another famous person they were picking to just kind of fill up the cast and get more people in seats.
Like they did with Mario and Garfield.
Exactly. But I should have trusted them because I kind of went through the exact same experience for the second live-action film where they casted Idris Elba as Knuckles. But I really like his performance as Knuckles.
I loved his performance as Knuckles.
So I really should have learned from that experience and trusted their decision when casting Keanu Reeves. But in that moment, I was just like, oh no. But I'm very much the kind of person that's like, oh, I hope they cast the previous voice actor, when already with Ben Schwartz, Idris Elba, I should have known that wasn't going to happen. But I think Keanu Reeves does a really good job.
Yeah.
Based off of what I've already heard. And I'm really interested to see how they take Shadow's storyline and convert it into the third film, because I was a little annoyed at the lack of Knuckles' backstory, but it was still really good. It was a really good film. They did a great job with his character coming across. He had some brain cells for the first time in quite a while.
Yeah. And
I'm really interested to see how they portray Shadow's backstory, how it comes into play, what his interaction is with Sonic and company. But I am worried that it's just going to be a repeat of Knuckles, where it's just Robotnik teaming up with him, with Shadow, with manipulating him, because that's basically what happened in Shadow's original story in Sonic Adventures 2 when he was first introduced. He was basically manipulated and lied to, and that's what kind of turned him into that anti-hero that we know and love. So I think it would be lazy writing if they tried to do that again. But I'm along for the ride. I'm really looking forward to seeing what they do with the character and with the storyline. And I will make sure that my friends are educated when they walk into that theater with me, because they don't get a choice. They're going to come with me. And I will have a PowerPoint presentation making sure that they know who Maria is, how Shadow was first introduced into the series, how he changed the Sonic fandom. I will make sure that they know.
On top of that, how do you feel about the fact that Jim Carrey came out of retirement just to replay the role of Eggman for the third movie?
Shout out to him, honestly, because when I saw that he was retiring, I was like, oh no, what's going to happen?
Yeah.
But
he came back just for this, just for Robotnik.
He's tired. Let that man go home. Let him retire. He's been here too long. But, you got to give him credit, because he seems like the kind of, again, I don't know the man personally, but he seems like the kind of person who, once he starts something, he's going to finish it. He's going to finish it out, make sure that he's doing a good job. But he was another name that I was like, I don't know how this is going to work with him as Dr. Robotnik.
No, actually, I personally had a lot of faith in it when he got casted as Robotnik. I had a lot of faith. Because I've always loved Jim Carrey. All his movies, fucking Ace Ventura, The Mask, Dumb and Dumber, all those movies. Liar Liar.
Oh yeah.
Always loved Jim Carrey.
What's that one where Yes Man? Was that him? Yeah, it was. I really enjoyed those films. It's very true. And so yeah, Jim Carrey, anything he's a part of, it's going to be great.
Yeah.
But again, with big names, sometimes I'm very hesitant about the quality of what studios are going to get out of them.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. But Jim Carrey, he's a national treasure. He's going to do a really good job with anything he gets into.
Now, time to test your knowledge.
All right, I'm here.
Question number 1, and I can verify the answers to these now. Easy one. What is the nickname of Sonic's sidekick?
Tails.
Good job. Easy.
And his real name is Miles Prowler. Prower. I always add an L in there for no reason.
Probably just thinking of the Prowler.
Yeah, probably.
Question 2. Who is in Team Chaotix?
Okay. It's Hector.
Hmm?
Team Chaotix.
You're close with that first name. It's just not correct.
It's not Hector?
It rhymes, but you got
Vector? Oh my god.
There you go. Yeah.
I cannot believe I said that. It's Vector.
We're not counting Knuckles though, so 3.
I know we're not counting Knuckles. I'm just really struggling to. I can name what animals they are. I know one's a chameleon.
Mm-hmm.
One's a bee.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, there's another one, isn't there?
Nope.
Is that it?
Yeah, just those.
It's just those 3?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. I don't remember what the chameleon and the bee's name are.
You got Vector. You just need the other 2.
Does it start with a B?
No.
Charmy.
Yes.
That's what his name is. And the chameleon. Does it start with a U or something?
Nope.
Oh my god. My cred is just floating out the window right now.
I will be editing a ticket clock over here.
I'm not sure, truthfully.
SBO.
Dang it! I knew! Oh, I should have known that. I never was really into the Team Chaotix, if I'm going to be honest.
Okay. Oh, here's another one. Easy one. What is the name of Sonic's arch nemesis?
Dr. Ivan Robotnik.
Dr. Eggman. No, I'm kidding.
Yeah. Actually.
Oh, here you go. In the game Shadow the Hedgehog, what is the main reason why Shadow has to seek for the Chaos Emeralds?
Isn't I know? Oh God, cred's going out the window. So I know that for the Shadow the Hedgehog game, so Shadow was originally created as a deal with Black Doom, basically saying, "Hey, in 50 years, this guy's gonna be one of my guys, and he's gonna do my bidding. Correct me if I'm wrong."
That's about right.
Yeah. So I believe he has to get the Chaos Emeralds. I don't recall if it's to defeat Black Doom or if it's for Black Doom. Please help me out here.
Actually has nothing.
What do you mean? Oh, this is awful.
The reason Shadow is looking for the Chaos Emeralds is actually to reveal.
Oh, is he trying to revive Maria?
No.
I'm just floating.
To reveal his past and find out why he's alive.
Oh, that's really tragic.
Yeah.
Okay. It's tragic for me and him.
That's his personal reason for doing it.
Mm-hmm.
That's his personal reason.
Yeah.
He eventually does give them to Black Doom, but his personal reason is that.
Gotcha.
Question number 5. There are 15 of these, by the way.
Well, you know what? Maybe I'll do better on the other ones. I'm hopeful.
In which year was the original Sonic the Hedgehog game released? I'll give you a hint. It was the 1990s.
I really want to say 93.
You're close.
4.
Harder.
2.
Nope.
1.
Correct.
Dang! I'm not good at years, man. Ask me something fun. I don't know. I'm kidding.
When was the first time Sega made their first Sonic game?
Okay. Is it another 1990s?
Yep. Don't think too hard. That's all I'm going to tell you.
Is it 1990? Or no, it's 1991?
Yes. they literally just pasted the same question.
Copy and paste.
What is the name of the island that serves as Sonic's home in many of the games?
Is it Green Hill?
Yes.
Okay. I was worried that was going to be a trick question.
Next question. True or false? Dr. Robotnik created Shadow.
Which Dr. Robotnik are we talking about?
The mainline one.
No.
Correct.
Wasn't it his grandfather?
Yes, Dr. Gerald Robotnik, not Ivo.
Mm-hmm.
What is Sonic's greatest fear?
Water?
Correct. Because he can't swim.
I really did like that in the first live-action Sonic film, they included his fear. When he... No, was it? No, it was the second film. The second live-action film where he's like, oh, why did it have to be water? And I like that it was subtle in a way that people who just got to the Sonic party, they're gonna learn something about him, but the OG fans are gonna be like, that's right. Wait, can I tell you something amazing? In the 2012 Wii game, Mario and Sonic Olympic London Games, where the Mario and Sonic characters, they are doing javelin throws, they're swimming, they're doing gymnastics. In the freestyle swimming event, Sonic is the only one. Did it die? So in the 2012 Mario and Sonic the London Olympic Games, that is a game on the original Wii console, and in that game you have the Mario and Sonic characters. They're throwing javelins, they're doing floor gymnastics, jumping on trampolines, uneven bars, and for I think it was the 100-meter freestyle swimming event, Sonic the Hedgehog is the only character to wear a life vest. They made him wear a life vest because he's a bad swimmer. And I just love that they included that little tidbit. Because the other characters, like Amy, for example, she goes from her regular outfit to a little one-piece swimming suit. But I love that they made Sonic wear a floaty, even though he is the fastest thing alive, they still said, you know what, he can't swim. Let's just
Fastest thing alive on land.
on land. And I just love that they took that attention. I love sharing that fact. I was so excited when I realized, because I was playing that game this summer with my little sister, and I was like, what is that a life vest? And I just thought that was so funny. But yeah, I really liked how they included his fear.
All right, I'm gonna give you the next question. What is Shadow's nickname? Or should I say, what is the thing he calls himself?
I was gonna say, the ultimate life form, of course.
Correct.
That's one thing I'm gonna make sure my roommates know. I am going to say, you guys need to learn this phrase. I think it's not an if, it's a when Shadow the Hedgehog, Keanu Reeves, says, I am the ultimate life form, or any variation of ultimate life form, theater's gonna erupt. Because that's what I think everyone's gonna be waiting to hear.
Mm-hmm. Because he says it all the time.
He says it all the time!
It's one of his main lines.
And that's something it's so hard to explain to my friends, because they're like, why is the ultimate life form a hedgehog? And I'm like, you tell me!
Hearing Shadow say that he's the ultimate life form is like hearing Sonic saying something about going fast.
Yeah. It's just in their nature.
Okay. I'm gonna tell you the answers to this question, because it's like a
Multiple choice?
Yeah. So, what makes Sonic gain more power? The emeralds, the super emeralds, both A and B, or none of the above?
I'm gonna say A.
Just the emeralds?
Yes. Dang it! It's both.
Yes. Because from the Chaos Emeralds, he can use those to turn to Supersonic, and with the Super Emeralds, he can use those to turn to Hypersonic.
Gotcha. See, I'm learning so many things here. So educational.
Which company is responsible for creating the Sonic the Hedgehog video game series?
Sega.
Correct. I don't know why they put that in there, like we wouldn't know that.
They think we're noobs.
Which zone is often... We just kind of did this. Which zone is often considered Sonic's iconic starting level in many games?
Green Hill?
Wrong. It's chemical... No, I'm kidding. Green Hill Zone.
I was gonna say, what?
What happens when Shadow takes off his rings on his wrist?
Doesn't he get more powerful because... Or no, does he... No, he doesn't use Chaos Control. He needs the emeralds for that, doesn't he?
Mm-hmm.
So when I know that the rings are kind of like inhibitors so that he can have better control of his power, right?
Yes.
I don't recall what happens when he takes them off. I know that from the clips I've seen, he just goes nuts. Like starts plowing through robots and people.
So what's your final answer?
Gets super powerful. That's my answer.
Correct. He releases all of his power.
Yay!
And he actually, fun fact, he actually can use Chaos attacks without an emerald, just not Chaos Control.
Gotcha.
In most iterations. In most iterations, he needs an emerald for Chaos Control specifically. But he can use, in most iterations, he can use stuff like Chaos Spear and Chaos Blast without a Chaos Emerald.
Ultimate life form.
Last question for you. In the game, true or false? In the game Sonic Heroes, Shadow, Rouge, and Omega were in Team Rose.
Correct.
False. They were part of Team Dark.
Dang it.
The Team Rose was actually Amy, Cream, and Big the Cat. And off of that, speaking of Sonic, we're going to move in the genre he's in, which is video games.
Mm-hmm.
One of the ones you mentioned to me specifically was Resident Evil Village.
Yes. I didn't play the game. I watched Jacksepticeye play it.
Makes sense. And I'm not that into Resident Evil, so I don't know all the lore.
Yeah, I really liked Resident Evil 8. And again, that's the rabbit hole that kind of got me into it. But I was really disappointed to find that the other Resident Evil games were very different from Resident Evil 8. I actually prefer the Resident Evil Village format and style that they did with the first-person POV. Mm-hmm. I didn't like the other ways when I saw them. And
like the third person?
Yeah, I didn't care for it. I think it was scarier when you were in that first person POV. And I don't really like scary things, but I was really interested in the plot. I I will say that
Man of culture. We were there for the plot, all right. We were there for the plot.
the plot
We'll
being
continue.
Lady Domitresk.
Mm-hmm.
No, I gotta say that
Broke the internet.
broke the internet, but honestly, watching the actual gameplay and seeing that she was only in a quarter of the whole game, I
Yeah.
was like, we got catfished.
Yeah.
We absolutely got catfished. And one thing that scared the, again, I don't like scary things, and one moment that really, when I was watching the gameplay, I was like, I don't know if I can continue because of how scary it was the second section with the dolls. Like, do
Dolls.
you
I remember that.
Do you,
I
like,
think I remember that.
it was that little puppeteer with the little girl doll that would dance around and have this really demonic voice. So the one thing that I think was so significantly and uniquely scary about the second section was that it stripped you of your weapons. In the rest of the
Oh.
the
Yeah, those aren't fun.
Oh, you're looking at
I
them?
mean, this thing, boom.
Yeah, hideous. In the rest of the
But no,
game,
I meant that's not fun. Like the stripping of your weapons, because that does happen in some games, and that's just like, bro, I can't fight now. Like, where's my shit?
exactly. And so for the 75% of the rest of the game, you had a weapon, you had a gun, you had stuff to defend yourself with. But in the second section, it is ripped from you. You lose everything, even just stuff you were holding on to, and suddenly you only have your wits. You have to figure out how to navigate things and navigate that haunted building. And so the worst thing that really made me question whether or not I can continue was that baby thing that would chase you through the halls, and it had a baby's laughter, and when this baby monster that was hideous to look at, when it would catch up to you, it would eat the main protagonist, the POV, Ethan Winters. It would eat him alive, like feet first, and right before you died, you could hear it going, yummy. I do not hear babies laugh the same way, truthfully. For example, in the new Sonic series on Netflix, there is an evil baby. And that thing laughs and babbles and it cries, it throws tantrums. That scared the crap out of me when I was watching the Sonic series, because I now have that association with that god-awful baby
Just
thing.
scarred you for life.
It really did, honestly. And that was, I took a month off, I think. Or not a month, maybe like a week. But I was like, oh god, I don't know if I can do this anymore. It was...
Check this real quick. Okay. Had to make sure that was on the right setting.
Oh, you're good. But it was really a moment of like, this is awful. I hate it. I can't shoot it. And all I can do is run and hide while this disgusting slimy baby thing crawls around. And it was truly awful. And having the dolls alone get in your face and stab you were horrendous. But quality game.
Quality game.
Nothing I would play because I am a scaredy cat.
I wouldn't either.
Yeah.
I wouldn't either. Most I do is probably watch someone else play it.
Exactly. When I was watching another person play it, I held my phone so far away from my face because I didn't want to see it. But I was still invested in the plot, so I just said, Lady Dimitrescu,
I'll do that. Like I'll just have it like I don't want to look at it, but I want to know the story, but I want to look at it.
Mm-hmm.
Speaking of plot, though, Overwatch.
What were my exact notes on Overwatch?
I don't think you gave me any.
Is it just
Did you?
Overwatch? I know what I want to say for Overwatch. I used to be such an Overwatch girly back in the day when I was in high school. I tapped out when they added a hamster as a playable character. And for that was Wrecking Ball. And
Yeah, Wrecking Ball's kind of lit though.
Yeah, he's a lit character. He's a lit playable character, but and the Overwatch fans will know that it was when this timestamp was, but it really kind of ruined the plot for me as someone who really enjoyed Overwatch. I got into Overwatch
you got into like the story.
I got into Overwatch because of the story and the plot, and it wasn't until my dad, he saw how into it I was, and I think it was for a birthday gift or something. He bought me the game. So I started with the plot and then played the game. And I was alright. I was mid as a player. It was the first real game that I had ever played, let alone a first-person shooter game. So I really enjoyed getting to know the relationships between the characters, all the different backgrounds, and the different parts of the world that these characters were from. And then they added a hamster as a playable character. And the hamster's whole thing was, oh, he was with Winston on the moon base and nobody knew. And it was just felt like the most lazy thing to do.
Kind of just like an asshole.
Yeah, and it was like, it's like when movies were like, oh, he had a twin brother the whole time. It just felt so incredibly lazy. It just felt so incredibly lazy. And it was because of the stupid hamster, and then also because they were making so many adjustments to Mercy's Ultimate. They were messing with the Valkyrie and Resurrection, that I was just like, okay, I'm going to tap out for a little bit, see if it gets better when I come back.
Oh, so you were there like in the early days. Because by the time I started, I think either Valkyrie was already there, or I just didn't play Mercy enough to really like use her original ultimate.
Mercy was my main. I loved Mercy. I loved Mercy. I really did. I really enjoyed playing the character because I'm not a shooter person. I don't have good aim.
I'm not either. That's why I made Mercy now.
Yeah. I don't have any kind of strategy, but I love Mercy because I love being like, okay, who's good? You're good? Okay, you want a power boost? Okay, I got it. I was just kind of the person making sure everyone was okay as a healer. And Mercy was my main. I loved playing Mercy. I'm not a good aimer, so to say. I don't like shooting people. I have little to no strategy. So having Mercy and just being able to be like, okay, you need some healing, you need a power boost, okay, everyone's good, we're good, everyone's green. And that was just a really fun way for me to still contribute to my team without embarrassing myself.
Yeah.
And so, but when they started messing with the whole heroes never die situation, I understand why they did it, because people were hiding in the bushes, waiting, trying to get the POTG, when really they could have been helping their team in a better way. But it got to a point when every time I came in, they made a change to her ultimate. Because when they were working through it, it went from the heroes never die, everyone's resurrected, and then it went from, okay, you can resurrect one person, and then it went to, okay, now it's something she can do all the time, and then it resets with an ultimate, so you could resurrect, hit your ultimate, resurrect again, and then it got to, like, okay, then it has to, like, wait a whole, like, 2 seconds. Yeah, what?
30 seconds.
No, I mean,
that's
like,
now.
Well, I can't speak for now, but at the time, so let's say you die right in front of me, and I'm Mercy, and I say, here, I'm gonna bring you back to life, but it's gonna take 1, 2, 3 seconds. And the problem is that Mercy couldn't like run around and kind of evade any potential shooters. So every time I would try to resurrect somebody, sniped, Widowmaker, straight to the head.
I actually have a strategy for that. So I started maining Mercy because I also cannot shoot. Like whenever I play Mercy, you will never see me pull out my pistol. But I
like Mercy's gun just for comedic effect.
I do have a bit of a strategy. Well, also for Valkyrie, I personally like the Valkyrie ultimate because it gives me infinite ammo. I don't have to reload, so I can just like if somebody's dying today, I'm gonna keep shooting.
Yeah.
But when I fuse together, it also gives me a good health line for healing. Like when I heal one person, it'll spread across the team. Or same thing with damage boost, but also with Mercy. I have a technique when it comes to rezzing. I like to call it the suicide res.
Oh, dear God.
Where if you die in a group of people and they run off and they go off to kill another person, I'm gonna rush in there, and whether they see me or not, I'm going to attempt to res you. And more often than not, you're gonna come back and I'm gonna die. And you just have to clutch up and get out of there and get back to the team. That is my technique. And it usually works on people that I know and play with, like my friend Nathan. He plays a lot of DPS. So whenever I jump in, res him, and I get shot, he'll just start shooting everyone else.
Yeah. So he's got it. It's a tag team. You're in. Go do your stuff. Oh my God.
I basically like bring him back and then just have a whole anime cutscene. Like, it's all up to you now. go
Carry
forward.
on my legacy.
Go on without me.
Oh my gosh. One of my favorite POTG memories was playing Mercy, and I think Valkyrie, and then I have my tank, my DPS in front of me. I think there's a Junkrat and a Reinhardt in front of me, and I just pull out my gun and I start shooting through them. I can't see who I'm actually shooting, but I hit like 2 people, and that was the play of the game. Me shooting blind through my teammates. It was really funny because my teammates were like, "What the heck? You couldn't even see it." I was like, "Yeah, you're right, I couldn't." But I'm there and you're not.
I'm there and you're not.
Yeah.
So, all that said, what are your thoughts on Overwatch 2?
I don't know anything about it. I'm going to be so honest. I tapped out so hard. I really lost faith in their storytelling abilities. And I wanted to come. I really thought about it.
I never had faith because the story never tied in aside from character voice lines.
See, I will say the game is all non-canonical. So it really doesn't matter who's on what team.
I will say I do like the little animated things they have on YouTube.
The cinematics.
Those are very entertaining.
They're so good.
My favorite is the somber one. It will always be the somber one.
I remember how excited I was when every time I was like, "There's gonna be a new cinematic." I got so excited every single time, and I would always watch them. The Last Bastion, I remember I showed that to my friend, and I basically gaslit her. I was like, "This is a short story. It's a metaphor about PTSD from the war," and she believed me. But it was really fun. That's just a memory I have.
Mm-hmm.
I love the cinematics.
So before we get into Overwatch 2, actually, have you ever been in a custom lobby with Prime Overwatch?
Yes.
You've been in custom lobbies. Mm-hmm. How fun are those?
It's such a joke. It's such a joke, but it's really fun for the memes.
Mm-hmm. I especially like the tycoon type ones where you basically like spend points on like life or damage. I always loved going in there and just like racking up points in the little like XP area, and then just putting all of that into life, healing, and defense. So if I shoot you in the head, I'm gonna do like 1% damage, but you can't kill me. I'm just gonna be a wall just sitting there just gaining XP because you can't touch me.
Yeah, like what are you gonna do? You can't kill me. Keep trying.
The more you empty a full clip into my character, you're just gonna take like a good 0.5% damage. You're not going to kill me.
It's such a joke.
You're not going to kill me.
I've been on the other end of that, and it's so frustrating because it's like you're not taking this seriously. But then I'll get on the other side, and I'm like, that sucks for you.
So you're not taking it seriously? Why would I? I'm just sitting here with my one friend just talking as I watch you try to kill me.
It's such a double standard, and I remember like when I would troll other people by doing like a whole team of Symmetras or
oh Lord.
But it was so fun, but it was awful to play against. But when you're on the other side, you're like, heh.
Nah, I definitely remember Prime Sim where she would shoot the laser because now it's just a straight laser. But I remember when it used to bend.
Mm-hmm. Symmetra was my main at the very beginning again because I couldn't name. So and I would just set up turrets, and it sucked because people would try to run around Moira, I don't know.
Moira, yeah.
Moira when she first hit the floor, her range was ridiculous. And, like, it didn't matter where you went. She was still literally sucking the life out of you.
Pause.
Oh, my God. Bro. Oh, my God. No, but it's so real, though. Don't look. It's so real, though, because her range was ridiculous, and they had to make so many adjustments with her character, because that just kind of holding click is... There's no skill involved in that. I can hold a button all day long. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I can see that. I definitely see a lot of Moira mains that just damage and don't heal. Which is why one of my friends who mains Moira is just like, don't worry, I'm not one of those Moiras that just hold damage all the time. I do heal. I use bubbles.
I remember one of my most embarrassing moments. I was a Pharah, and this might have been the moon base, I'm not sure, but I was playing with a Moira, and I didn't realize my mic was on, but me and Moira, we were both running for a health pack, and she gets there before me, and on mic, I didn't realize she could hear me. I was just like, dude, you can literally heal yourself with a bubble. Why are you taking my health pack? Like, you can heal both of us right now. And the Moira just turns to me and it's like, like, just heals me right there. And
He's like, damn, you're right.
I was like, okay, thanks.
Oh my God. That's funny.
And I felt bad at the moment, but I was like, no, I was right. I was absolutely right.
But yeah, so Overwatch 2, which many people think is the very crappy version of Overwatch, which I also agree with.
I mean, people were saying that about Overwatch with Team Fortress 2.
Oh, well, yeah, Overwatch being a... I can see that. I can see that.
I never personally, that's not my opinion, but that's what a lot of people were saying. That was all I heard for a really long time, especially in the early days.
Well, yeah, that's because Overwatch is in early development, but now it's so big.
Mm-hmm.
But Overwatch 2, it's not great. It's not great. It's not that far from the original game, but it's just like...
It's not good.
Plus, what people really didn't like is that they didn't make it... When they came out with Overwatch 2, it wasn't a different game. It was literally just an update. Like, you couldn't play the original Overwatch anymore. It was an update to the actual game. Like, even though I had the disc, I had like the Origins Edition disc of Overwatch, and when you put it in, it would just automatically go into Overwatch 2 and into a PS5 upgrade.
I hate that.
Yeah.
I don't even have the game, and I hate that. So I don't think that's a good decision on their part. And I can see why a lot of people would be very upset with that.
Also, you know how in the original Overwatch, you would have a team of 6?
Yep.
2 tanks, 2 DPS, 2 supports?
Mm-hmm.
1 tank. You get 1.
Because that makes sense.
You get 1 tank, 2 DPS, 2 support. You get 1 tank.
Is Overwatch 2, do they still have the same characters?
Yeah, just a couple new ones, like they have...
So it is an update?
Yeah.
Okay.
So they have Ramatra, which is a big guy. He's a tank. He has like a staff thing, but he can also use a different form where he just punches you to death.
The last character I think I heard of was Sigma. The dude with the toes out.
Yeah. So that was before Overwatch 2, if I'm not mistaken.
It absolutely was.
Yeah. So yeah, Sigma was actually I kind of mess with Sigma. Like when I started using tank a little more, I tried using him, and I was okay with him. Like I was okay with like predicting where his gravity balls would go. Mm-hmm. But past that, I wasn't great. I was definitely better with D.Va. That was always my tank main because all I had to do was shoot at you because I had infinite ammo. All I had to do was shoot.
Yeah, I love D.Va because you don't have to reload.
Shoot rockets, defense matrix, and charge into you. That's all I gotta do. Only thing is, I could never hit the explosion. I could never get more than like 2 kills with it.
Her self-destruct?
Yeah, I would never time it right. Or if I did, they would just go behind a wall.
That's the worst.
And then when I'm in danger of getting hit with a self-destruct, I always get caught in it because I'm never near a wall on time, or because like I'm trying to heal someone, I just use my flight. And I'm just like, oh, crap. I'm like hitting L1, come on, fly, and I get hit.
Yeah. Whenever Diva hits self-destruct, I always see YouTube videos where people are like just perfectly behind a pole and then it saves them, and I always try to do that and it always kills me because I can't get it right.
A pole.
Yeah, it's like a sign or something stupid on Route 66, and yeah, I can never get it.
Who do you mainly play? Mercy, right?
Mercy, yeah.
How's it feel getting targeted by every Riptire in the game? I just want to throw that out there because as a fellow Mercy main, whenever you hear a Riptire, whenever you hear fire in the hole, you just know you're cooked.
No, yeah.
You just know it's over.
Because
you're not getting out of it. They're gonna hit you.
And
unless you're using Valkyrie, and even then they might be petty, go up the stairs with the Riptire and jump to you.
No, seriously. I remember I would just always hear, "Get ready for a shot!" And be like, "Oh God, I gotta get out of here." I would just start looking for my teammates and just fly. I would be like, "Save me, save me, save me, save me."
You just have to hope you have a Reinhardt on your team.
Every single time. Every single time.
All right. That is all I have for you, Dallas. Thanks for coming in.
Thank you for having me.
And we're going to end it here.
Perfect.
Oh, that's all I got for you today. I appreciate you tuning in, and I'll see you next time.